Here's a quick video about coordinates and also bearings. You're probably used to seeing coordinates like this, where you've got numbers along the bottom and also numbers up the side, and then those numbers are positive. And the way that you've been taught to plot points is to remember to go along the corridor and up the stairs. So if you were plotting the point A, which is here, you would go along to the number 6 along the bottom, and then you'd go up 2. And the way that we'd write that coordinate is over here. The number you go across goes first, and then you have a comma, and then the number that you go up comes second, and then you've got brackets around each one. So I've got some points to plot at the bottom here, B, C and D. If I change pen colour to make it a bit different for you to see, or easier for you to see, we've got point B, which is 2, 7. So here we're going to go across to 2, and we're going to go up 7 to there, so that will be point B. We normally mark them with a cross. Point C is 0, 5. You have to be very careful when it comes to where these points are, if they have a 0. So first of all, 0 across means we stay by the origin here, and up 5 means we will go here, which will give us C. And then for point D, we've got 4, 0, which means 4 across, but 0 up. So point D will be there. Be very careful with those zeros. Always remember this saying, along the corridor and up the stairs. Now, sometimes you get more complicated questions like these, where they are based around a grid that has got 4 quadrants. Initially, it looks quite complicated, but you just have to remember that this part up here that you're very used to is this quadrant up here. The same rule applies. You still go along the corridor and up and down the stairs, but you'll notice that instead of just having positive numbers going forwards for going along, you've also got negative numbers going backwards. So when we say along the corridor, it means you can go forwards or backwards. When we say up the stairs, normally going up here, this time you could go up or down the stairs. You need to be very careful with what you do first. Remember, always along the corridor or up or down the stairs. Let's look at a large version of this. Okay, so over here we have got point A marked on, which is here. And to get this, we start in the middle and we go backwards 3, so it's -3, and then upwards 2, which is +2, giving us this coordinate here, -3, 2. Notice the 2 is positive because you're going upwards. For point B down here, we go backwards along the corridor 4, so our first coordinate is -4, and then we go downwards 3, so that's -3. For our next one, C, we go across 2 to get to this one here, and then -4 to go all the way down. And then we've got other marks that are put on here, so let's see if we can work out those coordinates. I will change the colour. Let's go for a nice bright blue. So if point D is up here, to get to this one, you'll have to go backwards 3, so it's -3 for our first coordinate, and then up 5, so it's just a 5, that means +5. Point E is down here, so for this one again we have to go backwards 3 along to here, and then this time we are going downwards, so it's going to be a -4, don't forget your comma in between. And our final one is F, which is here, so forwards 1 will give us +1 to begin with, and downwards 2 will give us -2. What you will find is that you get patterns in the way the coordinates have the pluses and the minuses. I'll just broaden my pen to make it a little bit easier for you to see. Here we go. So this section here up in the top, you will always get a positive, then a positive as your coordinate. This section here, you will always get a negative first because you're going backwards, but you'll get a positive second. This section down here, you'll always get a positive first and then a negative. And this section, you'll always get a negative, then a negative. Moving on to bearings. This is a pointer with the directions on that you're going to need. So north always points upwards on the pointer. South is always the opposite. Some people sometimes get the W and the E muddled up. So It's quite common to learn a saying where you go clockwise around here and you say, like a little acronym as you go round, never eat shredded wheat. Or another one is naughty elephants squirt water. In between you will have these 45-degree directions. They always start with a north or a south, and then you end up with the second letter being whatever is on the right hand side or on the left hand side of where that direction is. So northeast comes between north and east, southeast comes between south and east, southwest comes between south and west, and northwest comes between north and west. But it's always the north or the south that is the dominant letter that comes first in these particular examples. It's very uncommon to get a pointer any more complicated than this. So if we were using that with respect to coordinates, you may get a question where it asks you which direction a point is compared to another. So it might say, which point is to the west of A? Well, if we go out to the west, we will get to point B. It might say which point is to the north of A, so that would be point D. Or you might get a question that says something like, in which direction is C compared to A? Well, that's going to be north, west, between the two.